Hi everyone, JustVyxx here, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a really exciting two-part video today, or maybe 3 parts depending. Yeah, this took me a while to do because it's not a style I'm hugely familiar with, so I was really trying to do something a bit different with it, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. It was a super fun build. And yeah, it was really fun. Do I think I nailed the exact theming? No, but it's all trial and error, right? And I do enjoy how it kind of came out, and I can imagine living here and having a really, really great life. I do try and keep it like very. A lot of my builds are really hicklety-picklety and kind of all over the place, and I'm sorry if that's not your thing. I just kind of like to just randomly throw stuff down and yeah, just try and make it work. I think there's something that's really quite special in that. So yeah, as you can see, it is a very odd shape for a build. Very odd shape. I'm telling you now so you can't hold it against me later. I know. But I think it turned out super fun in the end, and I really wanted to do this whole Mediterranean vibe. And like, listen, do I think I got the theme entirely correct? No. Do I think it works? Yeah. Do I like it? Yeah, it's fun. I think it turns out really cool in the end, so that's what matters, right? I couldn't with this fountain. The fountain did not like me. I couldn't put it by the wall, otherwise it would get rid of the windows, and I couldn't place the windows to the doors, and I couldn't place them again. So yeah, I ended up having to scrap some of the fountains, which is a shame, but we got there. And then I decided to put a pool in, which I actually really enjoyed this whole area, like this whole kind of little back garden cove that kind of came out of it. Thought it was really fun. And I thought it would be quite private as well, and you'll see what I mean when I say private, because it doesn't stay like that all the time. Yeah, so this, and also this bridge kind of disappears, and I turn the master bedroom into more of a closed den, and this whole top floor kind of becomes a bit more closed off, and you'll see what I mean as the video goes on. You might not see that in today's video because I'm gonna try and build the shell today. Might be a little bit of like decorating, but it's mainly going to be the shell, just because this build took me forever to try and master. And yeah, like I said, I do like the way it turns out in the end. But how are you all? Are you all having a fabulous week? I hope you are. It's been a very long week for me, a very tiring week, but we're pulling through, which is why I haven't made any videos, so I am sorry about that. I've had the content, I've been recording and making the videos, I just haven't been editing them to get them out. Call me lazy, but I just needed some time for me this week, so I'm glad that I decided to take that. Yeah, work has been absolutely crazy. I work for a charity, so my 9 to 5 can be a bit wild sometimes, so I do try to wind down at the weekend. So if I ever don't post a video, it's probably just because I'm taking some time and enjoying life, living in the real world, you know. As much as I love Sims, I do have to live in the real world at some point, so sadly sometimes, but you know, what can you do? So yeah, I'm just kind of like, I really wanted the front of this build to have like a modern element of these big windows. I think that they're really great. I really struggled with the roofing on this build, and thank the Lord for this new build tool that kind of does the well, it's not even new, it's just new to me. That's how much of a noob I am at Sims. But the one that basically allows you to like curve the roofs and things, because it really gave me the edges I needed to make the difficult roofing kind of match up and make it all one level. But yeah, it was a really hard shell, and I think it's probably why this video is so long. It's because the shell took me so long to make and so long to be happy with, that I think I spent a few hours just coming back, editing it, and kind of going, no, I'm going to come back. But we got there in the end, and that's what matters. Yeah, and I really enjoy it. I think it turned out super fun. yeah, and like I said, this bit goes, so I should really cut this out, but I think it's an important part of the process to see what happens during this time, because you know, why else would this build take me so long to make? So yeah, I think it's coming along quite nicely actually. Like, I think this footage is sped up by like 1,000 because I just had I had so much footage of this. I think I must have had easily about five. I think it was about 5 hours of footage, and I was just finding it so difficult. And yeah, I couldn't cope with. I don't even think my computer could cope. So yeah, so just kind of going in and starting. As you can see, like we've just skipped a bit, but it's just me kind of going in and what's the word I'm looking for? Texture, putting down the wallpapers and kind of beginning to think about like what that's all gonna look like. And I think it turned out quite nice. I matched the roofing to the rest of the roofing in the area, and I tried to keep the colour scheme the same. I was going to have a staircase here, but that's where the kitchen goes, and I didn't want a staircase in the middle of the kitchen or in the middle of the room, so I do skip that because there is one in the corner, and I felt that it would be appropriate and it would be fine. So yeah, it's a bit like there's not a central way to get round this house from top to bottom, but I don't think there needs to be, you know? I mean, let me know what you think. I mean, you can absolutely disagree. We are going to do a little bit of furnishing in this one because I do want you to see a little bit of my process with this and kind of see what I was doing. I really wanted these red counters, I really did, but I just felt like they were just a little bit too much. So we actually do take them out, but I really enjoy the way the kitchen turned out in the end. I think it's super fun, and I do use the red accessories to kind of counter the fact that we couldn't put them in the game. So yeah, and I think like there was something about the red that just really spoke to me, and when I think of like Moroccan and like Mediterranean vibes, I do think of like bright colourful colours, so I do try and keep that in a lot of the communal spaces. And then I don't know why I kind of like the master bedroom was like so vivid, and then the child's room was a bit like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like my style's a bit more tame, and it's kind of like greys and yellows, which is still bold in the scheme of things. But in terms of like Sims builds and like where I kind of wanted this to go initially, it didn't kind of go there, but it's a process, and that's what's important, right? So yeah, so I'm just kind of going in and fiddling about trying to get details. Honestly, I had such an issue trying to find wallpapers and things just that were even remotely kind of similar or remotely kind of good for this sort of build. I found it really difficult, and I think the one I ended up going with works, but you know, it's a shame that there aren't more kind of stylized wallpapers that would go really well in this sort of build. And I even think with these, I don't find the ones I really wanted for a while. And like I loved these ones and they were absolutely perfect, but I just didn't want blue. I didn't think it went. So I ended up changing them to like this white and black one, which works. I just think it's a shame that there wasn't like a red shade of that, but what can you do? We're working with what we've got here, and overall I think that something about this build is so cozy and just so warm, and I don't know, I could just imagine this being like a lovely summer home, or well, not even a summer home, just a home. It would be lovely. But yeah, you've got this like cool little cove area, where there's like some bookshelves and everything's like, I really like it when things are kind of not jammed in, but you know, like that bookshelf probably isn't accessible, but I kind of liked it anyway. Yeah, and I decided to go with this rug because I felt like it would work really well. It was just such... Oh no, I didn't go with that rug. Oh, I tell a lie, I went with the scatter rugs, just because I thought they'd go really nicely. Yeah, and I just tried to keep it quite busy throughout this whole build, and keeping this kind of warmth, like warmth with the lights, because I just felt that would be really important to the build. The bathroom, I had issues with. I had issues with a lot of this build apparently. This build just didn't like me. But I do think it turned out nice in the end. I think that where the mistakes were made, I've learnt, and that's what's important. I've learnt that I don't know what I'm doing. No, I kid. But obviously it can be a lot trickier when you're working in styles that you don't often work in. So yeah, just bear that in mind before you're nasty. But like I said, I do like the way this turns out in the end. I think it turns out super cute. And I think this bathroom is actually really lovely. A lot of the Jungle Adventure stuff works so well in this build, and I love the Jungle Adventure pack anyway. Like in terms of build items, I think it's got some of the best build items in the game. Don't hate me for that. I just really think it does. And yeah, like these floorings are absolutely stunning for in Jungle Adventure. I just love them. Like the dark wood floors, absolutely, they are stunning. Yeah. So I decided to put up a few of these nets as well. I just think they look really nice, and I feel like that's something that I would have in this sort of a house, like something light, something airy. And now we're going into the master bedroom. Now the master bedroom is one of my favourites. I think it turned out so nice. We've kind of got this green bed, which I believe stays. Yeah, it does. We've got this green bed, and I just wanted it to feel really like romantic throughout, so that's what I tried to go for. And again, struggled with wallpaper, but what's new? And we went for this really lovely. I think it's in the butler pack, like the pack that comes with a butler, but it's like this bright blue, and it just looks wonderful. This is where I made the changes to that, and I thought, well, why am I limiting myself on space in those rooms when I can add that little bit extra and have like a nice little cove? Oh, I need to get. And yeah, I just think it was really cool. I don't know what just happened there. I must have hit something during the game and not realised it. But here you go. So yeah, I'm just kind of, I wanted something in this room that, you know, would set it apart, and I decided to stick loads of like lanterns and things on the, oh my god, I'm losing my words, on the fireplace, and I think it looks really nice in the end actually. I feel like this is something that I've seen in England a lot, like so a lot of the fireplaces in England don't actually work, or they do work, but you don't really get to use them. So I kind of wanted to, and I've seen that a few people will put like loads of lights in there instead, so it still has that kind of coziness, and I thought that would be a really cute idea for here. And yeah, I'm just kind of going in, like adding banisters and starting to think about those sorts of details. And then this is going to be like the games room, like the games living room. This table I do end up moving a bit because I put a computer on it and it doesn't work, but I've fixed that, so if you download this house, that's all fixed, don't worry about it. But yeah, so I'm just kind of going around the outside now. Sorry, this footage is moving way too quick. Yeah, I'm just kind of going out, like adding all the kind of trims and the details to make it really look quite effective. And I think, yeah, like I say, I'm going to keep saying it, I quite like this build. I think it's different. Yeah, it's an odd shape, but I like it. But yeah, I do end up moving this table here because it doesn't work, and I do put it out a bit, and then it does. So if you download this, that's fixed. You're welcome. But yeah, no, this room took me a bit of practice to get right. I just couldn't figure out how I really wanted it to go. I didn't want another fireplace, because obviously, like, if you've got the eco pack, they are bad as well, so had to think about that. And yeah, I think this room actually turns out quite nice. It's really kind of where the family gather, which is quite nice. And where that chair just was, I actually turned that whole side into a bar, and I think it just looks really nice in the end. Kind of like I think I'm just about to do it. Yeah, here we go. So I turn it into a bar and do a whole bar across that entire back area. Move everything a little bit around just to make it look nice. Add some chairs. Not those ones. Add some chairs, and it turns out really nice. And then I just put a white strip of fencing along the bottom, which your Sims can walk over, so don't panic too much. I was worried, and I was like, would I have to do a gate? But you don't. So here we are, just kind of adding in like these lamps and these little details here. It does go out throughout the build. I just think they make a really good addition, not gonna lie, I really like them. And yeah, now we're just moving into like the library space, which turns out to be like one of my favourite areas in the entire build. I just think it comes out so nice. I changed it to this like dark red colour, put a like a dark red lamp in, build this kind of cool little bespoke bookcase as well, like with a bench next to it with loads of books and things just covering it. Yeah, and I just think it ends up being one of my favourite builds, favourite rooms in the entire build, because it's just full of clutter and full of books. And yeah, like I can imagine like a sim coming in and sitting here and just feeling really inspired, and I really enjoyed that. And you do get to see me change it to red. I did build this quite a while ago, so if I'm a bit like on detail, that's why. So I can't remember how the build went. Like I can't remember where I went from one part to the next, so apologies for that. I'll be better in future. But I do think it turned out really cool. Just moving on to the spa, and this is going to be one of the last rooms that I show you. When I say spa, I mean a sauna. Apologies. But I really like the way this turned out. I think it turned out super cool, and I wanted this build to have some unique rooms in it that you wouldn't get in every house, because it's like a holiday resort. It's like somewhere where you're winding down, you're relaxing, and I think it turns out really cool. I am going to leave this channel, this build here, so I hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and come back for part 2, which will be up in the next few days. Bye!